Good afternoon, everybody. No, that's a joke because that's Mad Dog. Did anybody listen to that? It was the best sports show. Mike and the Mad Dog. Do you ever hear of them, Christian? It's based out of New York. So Dog would do that when he had his. I think it was when he had his own show. He would go like, good afternoon, everybody. The stupidest opening ever. Anyway, it was just fooling around. Okay, so today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about, I got 50 tips for those of you in small business and not in small business and some life goals and how you should be when you're in business and that kind of stuff. So I'll give you a little background. Here. I've been in the optical luxury sunglass business for 35 years. Oh my God, I'm just trying to open a sports bar, which I will do. Mark my words. So anyway, because of my brother, doctor of optometry, extraordinary, private pilot, started Pilot's Vision Center, and I came in from La La Land in my failed acting career with Strasberg and comedy improv and some stand up that stunk. And so I joined him as he's a great optometrist. He doesn't have any business sense. So we started out in a closet, basically, in Newark. That was the beginning. From there, we went into LaGuardia. We had a shop LaGuardia. Then we had Sunglass Terminal, which was our first sunglass shop in U.S. Air at LaGuardia. They crashed 3 times in a year and a half. Our sales went from 40 grand a month to 4,000 a month. I had to fire the staff. I had to work there all by myself for a year and a half, 540 days in a row. Try that out, Christian. You think you could do that? No way. You're too young. JFK, Kennedy Optometric, Prince Street, New York, in Manhattan. Sold a sunglass to Michael Strahan, the great Michael Strahan. Actually, I didn't know. My employee calls me on the phone. We had a very small store, and she says, there's a guy that came in and he took up like half the store. I go, okay, so he's a football player. Read the receipts. And back in the day, you actually saw the name and the credit card number, but thanks mostly to what Target did with their hacking in there, and so now you don't even get any name. You only get the last four. So I said, look it up, and it was Michael Strahan. So I did sell to quite a few celebrities. Mostly they stink. It's very uncomfortable. The whole they don't. You have to make believe like you don't know who they are. It's like you know who they are, but the whole thing blows up. I did sell sunglasses to JFK Jr., and that was in LaGuardia, U.S. Air. And then it was really cool because he went to the tennis matches at the U.S. Open, and I saw him wearing the sunglasses that I just sold him. So that was cool. Anyway, Dulles International, West Hollywood, West Coast Sunglass and Optical, Boston, Maui, Park City, Aspen, Boulder, Coconut Grove. The basic thing is I have a lot of experience here, and so what I'm going to give you is based on all of that, and I'm really hoping it helps you, which is what you're going to get from my podcast, because I am trying to help versus other people, and you're just looking at nonsense and people falling and all this crap that really does you no good. But this is going to be the tachlis, baby. And look that up, all you non-Jews that people don't know what that word means. All right, let's rock and roll here. Number one, and it's not in any order, in any specific order. All right. If a customer mishandles product, they will not buy it. What they're doing is they're telling you it's yours, as they won't mishandle or damage anything that they will own. Just common sense. I remember somebody comes in, they want to get a sunglass, they start putting their finger on the lenses, they're adjusting the nose pad. They never buy. Number two, if a customer is acting like a stand-up comedian, most of the time they won't be buying anything. People that spend money, they're serious. Regardless of how much it is, they're not going to fool around. If you got a guy like Adam Sandler coming in and making jokes, ignore him pretty much. Okay. If a couple enters your store, don't get involved in the decision making, as you will blow the sale by possibly taking sides over one or the other. So, obviously they're looking, don't chime in. Let them do their thing. If they ask you a question about the product, obviously you want to talk, but don't go oh, I really like that one. And then the other one's going to go, no, I like you screwed up. You just shut up. Number 4, when children are unruly and the parents are oblivious to the child's behavior, talk directly to the child. Now, you don't want to be too rough on this. Just go no, don't touch that. That'll be enough. The parents will go crazy. Who are you to talk to my child? They'll storm out. They weren't going to buy anything anyway, and then the child was going to break something, and you don't need that. Okay, number 5, we're up to number 5. If a customer is in your store long enough to turn grapes into wine, shut down your customer service and provide zero fuel to the fire. They will either buy the product or leave. I mean, it's just a point, I'm always willing to help. You want to make the sale, but, an hour? What is the time limit? They're just carrying on. I actually, one time on Maui, I actually took the sunglass right out of the person's hand and said, that's enough. That's a true story. You should have seen my employee they had their Christian. This is what my employee was like this. What are you going to do? You got to make a living. I'm in business.
We need the full story.
Huh?
We need the full story.
Well, forget it. Next time. Number 6, never judge a book by its cover. The most unlikely looking people can buy the most and spend the most. That especially goes through in Maui. They come in looking like slobs. The pants are falling down, and they'll spend a couple of grand. So, number 7, keep a good attitude on the sales floor. If something is extremely upsetting, take a break, even if it means a short trip to the restroom. It's because you're going to get heated in retail. Trust me, you think you're in the sunglass business, they just buy and they leave. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of times you're just going to get really pissed off. So what I would do, just close the store, maybe just even a couple minutes, get out, take a drink or whatever. I don't recommend smoking, but if that's what you do that. Okay, number 8, don't get offended by the customer's attempts to negotiate a lower price. It's nothing personal, right? Sometimes I had one guy, I had a sunglass, it's Cazal, right? So it sells for $500. So the guy asked me how much, so I go 5. And I assumed that he knew it was 500. And then he said, okay. And then I turned around, he had a $5 bill on the table, But I didn't get upset about it. It just what that was a misunderstanding. All right. Number 9, always stand up for your employees if they are attacked personally. You can't abuse anybody in the store. You just can't. You can't do that, and people do that. I actually had one guy, I wasn't there, so we have, no refunds, exchanges, only policy. He got all pissed off, and my employee was a female, and usually they do this to females, by the way, you men. You don't do that to me, Yeah, you're always, I know what you're doing. Behave yourself. So he blew his nose right on the counter. I wasn't there, but obviously he would have remembered that day. Okay. Number 10, pay commissions and bonuses to promote sales. You always want to have that incentive. It's just a no-brainer. Employees, even they're great employees, they need they need that incentive. They're going to sell a lot more, believe me. Okay, 11. So this is just now, like I would say, related not to sales. This is a work habit thing. Always follow through. No matter if it's difficult, don't drop it so quickly. Just follow all. Once you take on a task, till the end, whatever you got to do. 12, return phone calls. I would say, all the time, or at least 90% of the time, even if it's something negative, like, you have a salesperson that would call me and they were trying to sell me a brand and I didn't want it or whatever, I would still call them back and say, look, I'm sorry, it's not the right time. Don't leave people hanging. Respect, have respect. 13, don't drop the ball. If it's your responsibility, do it. Don't, oh, I forgot. Well, I didn't, and I couldn't, and I shouldn't, and I wouldn't, and whatever. Don't drop the ball. All right. Number 14. Don't take no for an answer so quickly. I can tell you, this just happened to me in my condo association. So I got a car, Tesla Y. I got it before Christian. He was all pissed off. And they gave me, what are you worried about? It was just one day. Stop carrying her around, young people. So they gave me a parking sticker to get through the gate, right? And I'm going through, and it's not it's not working, and it's happening and I went back, and they told me, oh, it's something with the reading. They're going to fix it, and it's still not doing it. So then I walk in. I say, hey, listen, this is not going to go. And the one lady goes, how long did you have it? I go, I've only had it 3 days. I need another sticker. She goes, well, you're not going to get another sticker. It's only 3 days. I go, oh, I'm going to get another sticker. And I'm making a whole scene, and I'm not giving up. Finally, one lady went out. She checked the sticker. She put the numbers in backwards. That was the problem. So had I just gone out again and then, and then live with it, no. So don't take no for an answer. 15, keep a to-do list. I ran 7 stores with a single sheet of paper revised daily. This is so important in business and in life. You could use your iPhone, the notes if you want, but I like a paper because it forces me to really see it and cross it off. And old school, you should do that in your life, definitely in your business. It'll really help you because you're going to forget, no matter what it is. You will forget. Okay, 16. Don't let other people intimidate you because you're small. Be proud and fierce. I mean, I was small. I fought against the biggest of the biggest. I mean, you name it. Luxottica, Solstice. Never back down. Don't do it. They're going to step all over you. You got to stand your ground. They have to know you're serious and you will not be pushed around. 17, if you want to implement a store policy and employees resist, make them realize they will get more tired of you before you get tired of them. And this has a lot to do with me. It was always cleaning. Employees, that's not something they like to do. They don't want. So you got to keep, when you're there, you got to hammer it in over and over. It's kind of like you're trying to, break a horse. I hate to, now I'm going to get shit. You compared an employee to a horse. But I'm not. But I'm just saying, you gotta, they have to know you're not going to give up. They're going to do it. And that's it. 18, give yourself a treat every once in a while. Jewelry, massage, new clothes, whatever. We're all human beings. At the end of the day, you got to have, there's a lot of stress. You got to be good to yourself. Don't overdo it. I mean, you're living in the jewelry store. That's not going to work out. But every once in a while, something nice. 19, Lay blame when deserved. Blame equals accountability. I mean, you're not going to take somebody's head off, but they got to know it's your fault. You blew it. You screwed up. Just they got to know that. If you're just going to be very soft or let it go, it's going to continue. Just the way it is. Number 20. If you're overwhelmed with paperwork and want to throw the whole thing in the garbage, just start. It's going to flow from there. And I mean, many times I remember because when I was running all those stores, pretty much my day was I get up at 8, go to sleep at about 2 in the morning. And, I remember I'm on the floor with the employee, and here it is about 11 o'clock already. And I got a whole bunch of stuff to do. I mean, payables, payroll, whatever. And really, I want to take everything and just fling it right out the front window. Just start. It'll go. You'll see. Okay, 21. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Keep a cleaning schedule. Have a schedule. Don't just depend on, telling employees, I want the store clean. They won't. It's going to be a dirty store. And especially in a restaurant, it's even, you really have to do that. 22. Top salespeople get top billing. It's a business. There's a reason that baseball players hit cleanup, some of them, right? Because they crank out those home runs. You want to treat everybody well, but you got your top salespeople, top billing. 23, CAP, C-A-P, not this kind of cap. Commitment, attitude, and performance. You do those 3 things, good attitude, you're committed, you're performing at a high level, you should do well. 24, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So that goes with, you were a little disappointed, you thought of something, it didn't come out right. Don't quit on that. Don't give up. Just relax, you'll find another way. 25, when the sale is closed, well, this is rule number 1 for sales. When the sale is closed, shut your mouth. You further talk, and I did it myself. I sold this guy a Bolé. He bought it already, and then after I tell him it's polarized. So I'm happy I told him because you don't want to have polarized with not, but still, I mean, I should. He said he's buying it. Talk about anything. Don't talk about the weather or whatever. Your mother-in-law. I don't know. Whatever you want to talk. 26. The day I was born. Sell with superlatives, but always be truthful. Always be truthful, but use word like awesome, great, you look magnificent in those. There's like, oh, that's all right. Yeah, I like that. No good. You're not going to close a lot of sales. 27. At the end of the day, the customer is buying you. If they don't like you, pretty much even if the product, they're not going to buy it. So, be energetic. Try to make them like you, and sometimes they'll even buy the product just because they really like you. That'll happen. Okay, 28. We're up to 28. We're going to be bringing it on home soon. Control your inventory. Daily counting is best. You wouldn't believe how many people in the eyewear, they don't count their store. They don't know how much they have. They don't know how much they sold. They have the computer. They don't really know. Count. I had sheets. We counted once a day, and it's going to help you with shrinkage. You never know. I mean, I had employees that stole from me. I mean, it happens. You're basically really worried about the customer. You want to know where your inventory going, what you have. Even, you know what? If I was managing a Home Depot, right? If I was an owner of home, I would be counting sections randomly every single day. I wouldn't just depend on that. What is it? Regis? I think they have this company that come in once a year. That's no good. All right. 29. Always be vigilant. Your world could change in an instant. Finger on the pulse. Always be watching what's going on, any changes, anything happening, competition down the block, walk the block, see what's going on, go into the store. You always have to be vigilant. Number 30, pound the door until it falls. Don't not just a few knocks sometimes. You gotta, hit. The hinge gets a little bit creaky, it's starting to give, and knock it down. That's what you got to do. It basically is like don't give up too soon. That's what it is. 31, always outwork the competition. That's what I did. I mean, I remember small business, it's actually 365 days a year. And sometimes you get Christmas, but, if you're in a mall, they don't, especially in the airport. I was in the airport. There was no Christmas. There's no New Year's. There's nothing. You gotta work. 32. Debt is a monster that can swallow you whole. Be very careful of that. Especially a lot of the eyewear, sunglass companies, they give you terms, right? So you don't have to pay. So you think that, you're okay because they'll give you like, even I remember Luxottica would have net 180. So you have 6 months to pay. You figure you'll sell off. Be very careful of that. And these companies, they don't take the product back. So you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be in big trouble. 33. Respect everyone. Take shit from no one. Don't let people run. Until they start their crap. Once they start their crap, not going good. It's not gonna happen. 34. At some point, ask for the sale. I mean, this is like sales 101. A simple, you want to get that? Would you like you want it? We had a guy, Ben Collins, he's a great salesman. He said, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it. It was a big joke, but kid could sell. Number 35, speed, not haste, is a valuable asset when competing. Speed is the most important thing. I mean, obviously in sports, speed, number one, and in business, you don't want to be slow to anything, but then again, you don't want to rush. I remember my brother and I, we were desperate to get to this location in TWA at JFK. We worked on it a year and we kept pushing, and my brother ran across a field to try to get it, and what happened with TWA, the plane crashed, and we lost the location, and it was a tragedy. Flight 800 blew up in the sky and then ended TWA. Okay, 36. Location goes without saying. You got a bad location, you're not gonna work your way out of it. Whatever, you just won't. I mean, obviously, with a restaurant, if the food is really great, they will find you, but it has to be great and considered. But in retail, like my product, I wouldn't be able to out fix that. 37. Your best friend is not your dog, Christian. Who's your best friend?
Not my dog.
Yeah, but who is it? No, it's your lawyer. Your lawyer, because I mean they're gonna step right all over you. I remember. So I was in Maui in Lahaina, and I was in this very weak location. It was very run down, and then the outlet mall came, and they were going to rejuvenate the whole mall. I was very excited, and I figured I would just get in and offer the lease. But what happened is, Luxottica, big company, and what is with my nose here, Christian? Is there something in the dust here? I'm rubbing my nose. I mean, people will think this is. I apologize, but I got the thing in my nose. Anyway, so the mall took over, and then the ownership, they come to me, they go, "What could you sell besides sunglasses?" And I go, "What are you talking about? I'm in the sunglass business." And he tells me, he goes, "The Sunglass Hut said they're going to go into the mall as long as I go out." And this goes back to the whole thing about being fierce. You see, I didn't just lay down, but I had a great lawyer, and the lawyer went over and told them all that's illegal what they're doing, and I stayed, and they never went in. So that's a big lesson. You need a good, not only a lawyer, you need a great lawyer. I had another situation in San Francisco. I had a lousy lawyer. I'm not going to go into that right now. All right, 38. Read your lease carefully. If you're inexperienced, even if you are experienced, you probably would like to get a lawyer, but you read your lease, know what's in there. You will be held to every word. Believe me. You're not going to come a COVID, schmovid, the Great Recession, not the Great Recession. They're going to hold you to that what you signed. There's not, you're not going to get any breaks. Believe me. All right. Well, it just goes into 39. Negotiate before you sign and not after. I mean, whatever you sign, it's in the lease. 40. Asking for sympathy will get you nowhere. Back to 38, 39, and 40. They're really all the same. 41. The customer is always right. You know who's not always right, Christian? The shopper. The person that hasn't bought anything yet, you're not always right. No. Now, once you bought something, now you have paid for the right to be right because you paid for my rent, my salaries, my employees, my whole livelihood. So remember that. Respect the customer. Oh, I always bend over backwards. I would deliver prescription sunglasses to somebody's hotel in Wailea, and I'm in Lahaina. I would deliver whatever they want. 42. Be the boss, not bossy. Don't throw your weight around. Don't go, because I'm the boss. That's why. That's not a good reason. You explain it. You explain it. They still don't want to listen, whatever. Well, then they have to. I mean, you are the boss, within reason. But you have a chance. Rationalize your ideas. 43. Don't wear your heart on your sleeve. I mean, sometimes an employee will say something or a customer will say, don't, it's not that big of a deal, You're not Albert Einstein over there, right? We're all regular people, retail, whatever, Don't get crazy. 44. Extended terms are not a discount. It's going back to what I said before. Don't fall into the trap of over ordering, which is going back to your debt, and be careful. And salespeople, when they come in, I remember even with the product, everything is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, look at this one. This is great, And I would just, tell them it looks like shit. Get out. That's a joke. Okay, 45. Stick to your knitting. Stay focused. Stick to what you're doing. Don't get involved with looking so much what everything else is going on and this and that to a certain extent. Just stick with what you're doing. It'll work out good at the end. 46. The first to make an offer usually overpays. That's kind of salesy. You let them tell you how much they want to pay. You might be saying something and they would have paid a lot more. You shot your mouth off. 47. Your word is your bond. I mean, that goes just in life, because people are not they're not gonna respect you. They don't know who they're talking to. If you say something, you're committed to it. And in business and retail, I remember sometimes we'd make a mistake on a price. I made a mistake. We never called the customer back of its prescription or anything and tell them, look, the price is, that's it. It's our fault. It's our responsibility. And that goes back to, I was watching this story with Social Security on 60 Minutes, and the government, they made a mistake on Social Security, and then they want to claw back. Claw back my ass. You made a mistake. It's your fault. What are you in business? What are you doing? What do you want, the person to know your Social Security business? Huh? Get with it. God damn it. These people, they hardly had any money on that show, and then they're going in this debt. They can't afford it. I think one of them lost their house or they had to move out. What's the matter with you? Wake up. All right. 48. If the deal is too difficult, sometimes it's better to walk, as only a prophet can see. You never know. I mean, you fight. I was fighting for a location, and you're fighting, and who knows? And then here comes COVID. Here comes the Great Recession. You don't know. Maybe God was trying to help you out not to make that deal. So don't get crazy. If you're trying and trying and trying, it's not working, walk away. 49. I think this is the biggest tip that I could give you in life. I think 50 is, this would be the second. Never, ever lose your sense of humor. When that goes, you're done. Trust me. Nothing besides death or sickness is that serious. It just isn't. Okay. And number 50, the most important thing that you could ever learn in life, in business, whatever, if you have good health, you own the world. Because without that, I don't really care how smart or whatever you got going on, big trouble. And that's it. I hope that those tips were helpful to you. And God bless America as always.